Alright, people, what's up? Per diem. We're going to talk about that because I had a situation happen that I was not happy with, and I'm going to tell you. So I told you I'll tell you the good, bad, and ugly about the company I'm at. Let's talk about the pluses. So, when I look at companies, these are coming off, I'm a little tired. When I look at companies, you have to look at, I put a little light up here. Let me show y'all this. Y'all see that? Let me turn it off. It's like a light switch because it's dark. Otherwise, y'all will see in a minute, it's dark. So I got it at TA and it gives more light because up here they don't have a lot of light. I don't know why. They give you that light, but it's not that bright. There, go to bed. Change this to sleeper berth. I'm going to bed. So let's go over everything. What do I like about the company? The staff seems cool. I actually like that. All of the staff has been kind. The orientation was probably one of the better ones I've been to, next to Conway. I like the fact they covered the hotel. I like the fact that they covered pretty much through the hotel. We got breakfast covered, and then they covered lunch and dinner. They gave us $100 at the end of orientation, which probably equates to the same thing I made at the company I came back to, the refresher company, because they only paid us for the last day, I think, if I remember correctly, of orientation. What else? If they paid us for that, I can't remember if they even paid us for that. I like the equipment. The equipment is immaculate. I like the fact that they deal with creature comforts, APU, inverter, the television, the DVR, and even though I'm running really hard, cable, every so often I get to do stuff, and then I actually have been recording stuff, so when I'm down. I like the fact they keep you running. But today was money day. And money day is where we have my issue with the company. Now, I knew it in orientation because they were upfront about it. They were very upfront about it. But I forgot, because I haven't done this in so long, I kind of forgot how certain aspects of it worked. So let's go over that. Per diem. So per diem I was introduced to when I first came out of trucking school and was working for Werner. Werner automatically put it on you. You did not have a chance to opt in or out. And I was fresh out of trucking school. They were going to be the training company I was going through after finishing trucking school. And I really didn't know anything about the industry. So let me help you. They use the term per diem, and I'm going to do it in my terms of what it is. Anytime you're in the transportation industry, so like what my father did, one of my girlfriends, a regular friend of mine, Shanae, what she does as a flight attendant, a pilot, a truck driver, anything in an industry where you travel like this, the federal government, through Uncle Sam, gave us back in 2010, I believe it was $50 a day that we could use for food. So breakfast, lunch, dinner. And at the end of for every day we were out. So if you work 5 days a week, you're out over the road, you can claim $50 a day, $250 off of your taxes for that week. And then, you add up every week up to the end of the year. If you're home, you can't take it off, but you have to average out the days you're out. They gave us the $50 at the end of the tax year. We're supposed to go in there, and we can write off a crap load of stuff. We can write off food. I can write off clothes. If I buy a laptop, I can write that off. I can write off part of my cell phone bill. A lot of stuff you can write off. Jackets, boots, clothing, things that I buy for the truck that the company doesn't reimburse me if I'm a company driver. I can keep all those receipts and write those off for what I'm doing. Well, the big one was the food one. And I don't know where this, I think it's the company, some of the trucking companies found a loophole. And they did something, in my opinion, I call it Shady McLaughlin. Okay? I don't like it because, again, my background's in finance, so I don't like it. Now, some of you may do this because you want it that way, and that's fine. But I like the fact of being able to opt out or into it. Per diem. What they did is they took that $50 stipend that we, so to speak, I like to call it that, break that we get from the government, and they decided they're going to control the deduction from your payroll. So let me give you an example. This is not necessarily what I make. Actually, it's not what I make. Let's say you're making 50 cents a mile, okay? The company says we're going to require that we're going to do per diem, and you can't opt out of it, okay? We're going to do it. So what they then do is, when your agreement was to make 50 cents a mile, they instead are paying you 40 cents a mile and putting that money to the side, supposedly. Okay? So you're not taking home the 50 cents a mile you thought you were. Instead, you're taking home 40 cents a mile. Now, I couldn't remember when they talked about it in class. I just knew I didn't like it. And I couldn't remember when I was at my last company, they had offered it to us, and the TV watcher trainer chick, she's like, oh, dude, you need to do this, back is itching. You need to do this, what's it called? You need to do this, per diem. And I said, no, I worked at another company, and I can't remember why. I said, but they did per diem, and it's something to do with your money, and I don't like it. I said, I'd rather control it myself. I couldn't remember exactly all the details of why until I got here. All of a sudden, while we're driving, she got pissed off because her girlfriend called her and told her that the check was smaller after she signed up for per diem. Okay? Now, the reason I don't like it, and some people, you want the company to do this, at the end of the tax year, you're supposed to get, that money is supposed to be like a credit towards your taxes. You're supposed to get the break. So basically, what ends up happening is when you file taxes, you file it for less money. Okay? And then, therefore, you don't pay as much on taxes. That's part of it. I don't like it for this reason. If you're supposed to pay me 50 cents a mile, pay me 50 cents a mile and let me handle that at the end. You need to do what you're required to do. You take out whatever the federal government requires for the regular taxes, Social Security, and then whatever we've agreed upon for health care. Again, I can opt in or out of whether to get health care or not. Then I also should be able to opt in and out of per diem. This is not a mandated thing by the federal government, so for you to force it, I don't like it. And let me tell you why most companies, in my humble opinion, force per diem. So, finance background, putting that hat back on for you right now. One of two things. I can pay you less money to run for me and do this accounting, and then at the end of the year, say this is what we did, and cancel it out. Okay? And or I can take the money that you would normally get up front and let that ride on the market, make interest off that money, and then at the end of the quarter, whatever, sign that over to Uncle Sam. I don't like it. Because you're making interest off of a break that's supposed to be given to me. Not a break for you to make money off me through your company. So that's my attitude about per diem. If you guys know more about it, feel free to put that down. I personally don't like it. If you work for a company, my suggestion is opt out. However, some people do it. And I'm going to tell you why I also would opt out of it. Let's say you decide you're going to go for a house. Okay? You're going to go for a home loan. When you go for a home loan, I've done it before, they're wanting to know what your take home is. Oh, I make $80,000 a year. Oh, but your company takes out per diem. So your actual take home looks like $60,000 a year. It hurts you in areas like that because you're not showing truly, because they don't care. The company's already, so it screws you in other ways. I don't like per diem. I don't like it because to me it's a shady McLaughlin way of a company paying me less per mile than what they're supposed to pay and holding my money hostage that I haven't given you permission to do. So I'm not a fan of per diem. And, the last company I was with, they were a starter company, and I don't know if they got sued. They might have got sued over it, knowing their ass. But they actually, I got to put lotion on my back. I think that's why my back is itching. I'm dry. I took a shower last night, but I didn't take my shower bag. I just took some soap. And the lotion I use is not my typical lotion. So I think I'm just really dry on my back. The company, to me, is getting over. and they're making money off your money. I think it's a Shady McLaughlin way of doing it, and I think that, you know, if the starter company was not the best, was able to give me an option to opt in and out, so should you. That's probably the biggest downfall I see. I was really pissed today, almost thinking about like two fingers and rolling, because while I'll make, quote unquote, overall more than what I made at the last company, now that you're doing per diem, I'm making less. The only difference is you are running me more, so I will probably take home more than the last company, even though I made more per mile. Take home. And less drama. Because honestly, the driver manager I have, I like her. She keeps you running. Less drama. But the per diem, I'm not feeling. I'm just not feeling. And the other thing I thought, and anybody who knows this, I thought under the new tax rule under Donald Trump that he got rid of it, which I mentioned to them when they mentioned this in orientation. I said, wait a minute, you're doing per diem. I thought he got rid of it, meaning that that tax break is not even there to us anymore. I don't know, and if that's the case, like my buddy Joe said, at the end of the year they're gonna have to refund all that money back to you or Uncle Sam. It's not. I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan at all, because when I calculated my check, I was like, okay, I knew it wasn't going to be a big check because it only encompassed one trip, and that was a trip from Oklahoma to Phoenix, and that's only like 953 miles. And I knew that that trip wasn't going to be much, you know, figured under a certain amount of money. And then when I saw, oh, okay, why am I missing over $100? And then they go, oh, it's per diem. The hell? And then then it snapped come to myself. That's what I didn't like about per diem. It reduces what you're supposed to get paid. That's what I didn't like about per diem. And I couldn't recall what it was, but that was the big thing that I did not care about per diem. Anyway, this is what this is about. I'm going to be talking with D-Boy Stance, and I'm doing a video for him, and Jose, and we're going to start probably working on the channel here, probably if not next week or the week after. I gotta see what their time frame is. I've only got the three of us right now. I'm still going to be looking for other people. I'd like to get a team. I'd also like to get a flatbedder, a tanker person. I just want kind of different walks of life on the trucking and you know, trucking areas, and we'll have different subjects. This per diem actually would be a great subject to get different opinions. See what D-Boy Stance thinks of it. See what Jose thinks of it, JC Elect, and then you guys can kind of go from there. Again, you take opinions, because there are some people that will like per diem. At the end of the year, it's all done for them, and they're okay with it. Back in the day, there were companies that were trucking companies charging administrative fees to do this and forcing the drivers into it. Why am I paying you an administrative fee when I don't want you to do this in the first damn place? So, you know, and why are you doing an administrative fee? It's just insanity, because I didn't ask you to administer nothing. And also you're getting a benefit from it. On top of that, you're charging. This is the stuff that I'm saying companies need to get away from, which is one of the reasons we have a high turnover, because I consider it, in my opinion, kind of a Shady McLaughlin practice. How I've had to look at this, because I was really hot today. I couldn't even talk to my driver manager. She wasn't about this, but I had this on my mind, and she was trying to call me. I don't know what the hell she's trying to call back. And they got to get me fuel, because I ain't got enough fuel to get to where I'm going in Nevada. But I couldn't even talk to her. I was hot, because I don't like it, and I don't like people to control my money that way. Nice equipment, but you're messing with the dollars, which is the ultimate thing. And then I had to weigh out, you know, I talked to Trucker Bill, and I'm like, Bill, should I bounce? Because I'm lit. And Bill says, no, I haven't had to do per diem. He says, but unfortunately, what you're going to have to do is make sure you get a trucking tax person to do your taxes, since they're doing that per diem crap. You can't just take yours to H&R Block now, because that the whole per diem thing. So here's extra more money I got to spend out of my behind, because you're choosing to do something I don't want to do, where I could easily do all my other write-offs myself. But now the whole per diem thing, I've got to get a trucking tax person to handle my taxes for this year's taxes. Bill did not feel it was a walk-away deal. He says, look, you're running you. You're still making money. You're still going to make what you're getting. You're just going to unfortunately get part of it on the end of your tax season, not up front. And that is what I don't like. You got good equipment. You got good rapport. stick it out, stick it out. What I also will tell you guys is Walmart is hiring big time. Walmart, their drivers can make up to 80 grand a year or more. They're hiring all over the country. I've been to a couple of the DCCs, and they have the signs outside the DC. I've heard it on Road Dog Trucking, so they are definitely hiring. So I don't know the website. I thought about it, but I'm so damn fluffy, I'm not sure whether I would be hireable because of my weight. And this is one of the other reasons I'm going to probably stick it out longer, is I'm going to have to stick it out because I really want to get the lap band done. Anyway, guys, I'm getting sleepy, and I got to get up, and I'm probably going to have to do a split to get this in, which means I'm going to drive part of the hours from today, and then bunk down for a 10-hour shift, and then drive the rest of it in. So, yeah. Anyway, peace, joy, love, happiness. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.